Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Izzi Izzati binti Muhammad Fauzi, number matric AF190063. Today, I would like to present to you about piling. We are from Group 3. These are my group members, Intan, Devi, Nur Atira Najwa, and Nazira.
Introduction of the project background, which is our group consists of 5 members. Conducted the project task related to the task topic of piling foundation work. In this project, we are awarded a new proposed development of 20 units of a 5-story lecture room building at University Tun Hussein Malaysia Education. Client was requested to us to provide a preliminary task assessment report before the commencement of the construction and recommend the appropriate risk control to ensure the safety and health of workers and campus residents while performing their works, and for the further prevent accident by following the hierarchy guideline and regulation of the DOSH. Key: several types of hazard employees may be exposed to depending on their industry. This reporting document of project will have a few things to acknowledge how to conduct and safety and health on the construction site and prevent the risk of hazard that lead to the incidents in the construction site works. Our objective have 3, which is to identify the 10 hazard, safety and health hazard and 3 hazard at the workplace. And second, to estimate the safety and health risk from each of the hazards. And last, to determine the most critical safety and health hazard at the workplace. A flow chart activities on this activity project, which is first, construct project. And the second step is pre-tender stage, which is our preparation for tender document. Third, tender, which is we our call for the tender, evaluation and selection, and the last, award of contract. Fourth, contract management, which is our job is execution of work as per contract. Fifth, project completion, and the last is project work end. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Atira Najwa binti Nur Azam with matric number AF190270. I will explain about HIRAC table. HIRAC stands for Hazard Identification, Risk Assessment and Risk Control. Hazard identification is to evaluate the situation, equipment or work either that activity can cause harm or not. It is to make sure that hazard was found and all aspects of source include non-routine activity need to be looked out. This assessment is a likelihood of hazard and severity occurrence will determine the risk value of construction hazard. It is to identify who may be in risk, which hazard need prioritized, and help to determine if risk control enough or not. Risk control is to eliminate or minimize the hazard. For the risk control, we have hierarchy control with each elimination, substitution, engineering control, administrative control, and PPE. This hierarchy control has the elimination has the most effective method, while the PPE is the less method effective. This is hierarchy table. For the hazard identification, we have work activity, hazard, and consequence or effect that may cause. For the risk analysis, we put likelihood, severity, risk rating, and risk classification. Risk classification, we have a 3 color, which is green for the safe one, yellow for the medium, and the red one for the high risk. For the risk control, we have recommended control measure. For the work with unloading piling machine from low loader, our hazard is fracture to access ramp, and the consequence machinery overturn and crash nearly worker, and this can cause a fatal accident. For the likelihood, we have 3, severity we have 5, risk rating we have 15, and the risk classification is red, which means is high. For the amenities control, we have to conduct it to visual inspection with ramp by standing supervisor per unloading. Second, work must be carried out by trained personnel. Third, it must ensure compliance of safe work instruction. Fourth, we must conduct toolbox or top floor unloading operation before the activity. For the second one, we have reassembling of piling machine. The hazard is exposed to crash by component of piling machine or excessive manual handling. For the consequence, we have made potential to cause fatal to worker and potential to sustain body injury. For the likelihood, we have 3, 5, severity, and risk rating is 15, which means considered high. For the engineering control, we have to maximize use of mechanical aid such as forklift, chain block, when handling piling machine component during assembling. For the amenities control, work must be carried out by trained personnel, never leave heavy load alone, and must seek the other assistance, and we have to wear a PPE control all the time.
Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Intan Rahman with Jeffrey. Now I will talk about most critical safety hazard. So the pile driving is often overlooked on projects until something goes wrong. Hence, driving pile is the most critical safety hazard. This hazard is due to damage along the pipe. Whether you are driving a concrete or a steel pile, damage can occur along the pile shaft, including cracks and other anomalies. If the integrity of the pile is damaged, it's likely to cause problem with the remaining structure installation. So, if this happen, other things will continue to happen, and a lot of problem um, will take place. Alright. So now I'll talk about the most critical health hazard. The most critical hazard identified in this construction project in terms of filing is the breaking down of the unwanted file top, typically using handheld pneumatic breakers. This operation creates vibration, so the vibration can cause changes in tendons, muscles, bones, and joints, and can affect the nervous system. Collectively, these effects are known as hand-arm vibration syndrome. Workers affected by HAVS commonly report attack of whitening of one or more fingers when exposed to cold, and the others. Okay, so now I'll talk about the control measure, how to reduce or control the risk during the piling construction. Okay, so firstly, control measure for safety hazard is to have pile driving monitoring and specifically using fiber optic sensors. It's a reliable method of monitoring the integrity of an entire pile. In order to reduce the effect of vibration to workers, one of the ways is to have work schedule, which includes limit the time that your employees are exposed to vibrations. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Amy Committee Masri and I'll present about the control measure. As is identify the best control measure to decrease the risk can be achieved by proceeding through this control hierarchy. At first, on top is elimination. The most successful control is it. The hazard should always be completely removed, replace all substance, material, system, and tools that are not required for this particular operation, such as when the hammer is not in use, it shall be dropped, positioned, and held in place by a sheet, clamp, timber, or other suitable equipment. Next is substitution. The control is second effectiveness. It suggests replacing the wrist with refillable options such as automated standard procedure that has been determined to be hazardous by acquiring updated machinery with higher safety validation. Replace any necessary procedure, machineries, supplies, or even other aspects considered how many solvent or other particularly harmful product you may be using. As example, the hoisting rope on pile drivers shall be made of galvanized steel. The next is engineering control. Since techniques are created to avoid potential dangerous elements first before workers come within encounter, these also are classified as engineering control: isolation, enclosure, transportation, ventilation, as well as guarding and shielding, also type of engineering control. As example, for work during night, the lighting at least 100 lux intensity shall be provided at the work site. The next is administrative control. Administrative control attempts to minimize a field workers' exposure, whereas engineering control focuses to remove danger. Administrative control are indeed to improve safety, regulation, and procedures set up for site employees to guide. As example, all operations shall be carried out under immediate charge of qualified and competent foremen who shall also be responsible for safety arrangement of work. The next is personal protective equipment (PPE). PPE must always be utilized in incidents that those other control measures are ineffective, although the hierarchy of control measure indicate it is just the lowest efficient control measure. As example, wearing safety helmet, safety shoes or boot, safety vest, and earplugs or earmuff should be mandatory. The last is conclusions. This research report aims to identify a qualitative risk assessment relying most on high-rate guidelines and safety standards of Department of Safety and Health Malaysia (DOSH). Those to analyze the safety awareness and security precaution must be conducted between all the building projects workers to help ensure the safety of individual and community neighbors while handling their activities and also prevent any potential hazards. Making sure that everyone can work safely is the main goal of utilizing the hierarchy principle in the construction sector. That's all from me. Thank you.